everyone, welcome to Protective Diet Education, lesson number 126. And tonight's lesson is about my brain cancer diagnosis that I just found out about this week, and how to stay PD in the hospital for a protective advantage, because when we get hospitalized, we don't want to leave it up to them to bring us a healthy meal. I want to show you exactly how to get a perfect PD meal to your hospital room without any challenges or struggles. And then we're also going to cover the endothelium, the basics about an endothelium, the basics about a protective diet, and why I recommend you practice 100% and go full throttle with it. It has a lot to do with what I went through this past week with my diagnosis. I'm ready to take on brain cancer, and I'm going to get through this like a champ. You're going to see me. I had a brain biopsy. What day is today? They did drill in my brain, so I'm a little...
On Thursday.
On
so
Thursday.
We went in on Wednesday.
Thursday at like 4:30 p.m. They did the biopsy, did the brain surgery, and took a sample to find out what was going on in my head, and we're going to go over what led to that. And then today is Tuesday, so I'm doing really great. I'm not on any medication. I'm not on any pain medicine. I've been off that for a while, and a huge part of this recovery time being so speedy is due to my strong endothelium, my strong immune system. And that comes down to my daily, meal by meal, snack by snack practice of a protective diet. I never deviate from it. And at the end of this class, for those of you that are struggling with that 100% practice, I'm going to go over why and give you a little bit of incentive and some tough love. Maybe you may see it that way. I hope so, because I care about all of you. And if you're in this classroom, you should be getting the full protective benefits of a protective diet, not kind of doing it. Go ahead, Jerry.
Are all of the symptoms that you're experiencing gone completely?
Pretty much. The only thing that I'm still experiencing some symptoms that I think are coming from the pressure of the tumor in my brain, that are newer, but the ones that I'm going to go through that are gone, and there were a few that I added to this list after going to the hospital. The few that I have some pain like right about here, and that would be because I have a pretty nice incision in my head and a burr hole that they drilled to the brain to do the biopsy. But the headaches, the terrible pain where I can't bend over or move my head side to side are totally gone. I think some of the pressure was relieved just from the biopsy drilling. But I'll go over some of the other things I'm experiencing as well. So I went on Sunday morning. I woke up the day after our protective diet potluck, telling Jerry that I thought I had like a horrifying hangover. I felt horrible, and I think I had about 2 glasses of wine, and I told Jerry I must have drank like 2 bottles and not noticed, which there's no way, because I was visiting with everyone. I don't even think I ate as much food as I wanted to eat because I was so distracted talking to everyone. But I felt like I was out partying all night or something happened to me. I was so sick. Sinus symptoms like facial pain. You can see the list there. I don't know if Jerry's put it up for you.
I will put it right up.
Okay, so I made a little cheat sheet to bring with me to the emergency room, because I was taking notes on this because I'm a healthy person. I never get sick. So these kind of symptoms out of nowhere without reason, I didn't drink alcohol to cause these kind of symptoms. I was just saying that's what I felt like I had just tortured my body the night before or something. So I wrote down all the symptoms I was having on Sunday, and then on Monday and Tuesday and on Wednesday. And Tuesday night we had our class scheduled, and I canceled the video portion and I did the 90-minute chat, which I was happy to do, but I did have all of these symptoms. I was not feeling well. But
read some of them off.
Okay, so I had severe headache, facial pain, eye pain, nauseated fever, chills, jaw pain. Increased pain intensity came on Tuesday with my teeth. I felt like someone put fillings in my teeth that weren't lining up. So when I chewed my lunch, it wasn't feeling right. It was painful to open the jaw, intolerable pain with any movement. So just turning my head like this was painful. I definitely couldn't lean down into a kitchen cabinet, which our class that night was all about kitchen tools, so I knew there was no way I was going to be able to get through the class and fake it through that. My heart rate not my heart rate. What am I talking about? Yeah, I could feel my heart rate in my face and in my head. I could feel my pulse, like outside of my body. I could feel my sinuses draining in the back of my throat. It was just a lot of pressure, so I thought sinus infection. Then on Wednesday morning, I woke up with a ringing in my ear and in my head, my right ear, and intolerable pain with any movement still, nauseated, like I wanted to throw up from the pain. I couldn't find comfort. I took an Aleve. It did nothing. I had to actually send Jerry out to the convenience store to get some kind of painkiller because we don't have any in our house. I haven't taken it for years, so this was very unusual. It didn't do anything. So, and that was on Tuesday night. I actually asked you for that, wasn't it? Or no, Tuesday morning I took it because I wanted to be able to teach class. So I had a loss of balance in the shower and I was hearing music playing. I was actually hearing the repeat of a song that our friend Erin sang at the beginning of our wedding, and it would start the guitar strumming and then I'd hear her voice sing and then it would start over again, and it was, Jerry, do you hear that? Are you playing our wedding video? Like, I thought I was losing my mind. And then I heard voices that were familiar, almost from a movie it was like a deja vu experience. So I knew something wasn't right. Like, I had so much pressure in my head, I didn't know what was going on. So we looked up an emergency room or a hospital because we're new here in San Diego. This is my first experience. And fortunately, I didn't have health insurance just up until January. Thankfully, we were forced, due to the fines, if you don't have health insurance, that you have to get health insurance now with how it's set up in the United States. So we signed up for health insurance, and so we didn't even have a doctor to call. We had a name on there, but they usually don't see you when you're sick, so we decided to go to the emergency room. This was an emergency. And the reason I'm going through this sheet and talking about this is I want you to realize sometimes there's time we need to seek help. We need medical assistance. That's what it's there for. Go ahead, Jerry.
Explain, if you would, why the doctor said the voices and the music started happening.
Okay. Well, we'll go through that when we get the diagnosis of it, but the tumor was pressing. It's in an area in my brain that was pressing on sound memory, which is kind of cool. Like, I've been learning so much about the brain, and Jerry's very familiar. After having recovered from a traumatic brain injury when he was 15, he had to relearn everything. So he knows everything about the brain and studied neuropsychology, so he's familiar. And I'm learning this from the doctor. He's explaining it further to me. But I was having this sound memory, which was kind of annoying that no one else was hearing it, but that was when I didn't know. But then when I knew, I was comfortable. I was like, okay, so that's what's going on. It wasn't as scary when I knew what was happening. So I want to mention, seek medical care. Some of you I see come to Protective Diet Living, our support group, and you say, I'm feeling dizzy, or I have this rash. Oh, that's the other thing. I had a rash for 3 weeks all over my body. And I thought it was this other rash that I had had once before. So of course I self-diagnosed it. I went to WebMD. It wasn't itching anymore, so I didn't think anything of it. But that was the first signal of my body's immune system, is what the doctors are thinking, it causing this autoimmune response, saying, hey, something's wrong in here, something's going on. And I kind of blew it off for 3 weeks until I got this severe pain. So I'm very lucky that pain came about to get me to go to the doctor or the emergency room. But when we're suffering, when we have challenges and if they're getting out of control and we can't handle them, or we're on medication and we're dizzy or we're feeling unusual, go to the emergency room. Call 911. That's what it's there for. Our support group can't help you if there's an emergency. We don't have your home numbers or your home addresses. So if you reach out to us, definitely reach out to a neighbor, someone close to you, or someone at work, or call 911. Don't be sorry. It's just not worth it. So I wanted to go over that. So a lot of you think I'm so holistic that I won't go to the doctor. No, when something's going wrong with me, I know it. I document it because I don't want them giving me a bunch of pain medicine when I get there. I want them telling me what's wrong. And within an hour, well, within the first 5 minutes, they gave me a blood test, checked for strep. I didn't have that. And then they looked at my sinuses and I didn't have a sinus infection. He was like, I don't see anything. It just isn't a sinus infection. It doesn't look like it. My ear was all swollen on the inside, so I was for sure it was my sinuses. And he said, nope, we're gonna do a CT scan on you because I wanna see that you don't have a sinus infection and I wanna see what's going on inside your head, because obviously something is with a list of symptoms like this and this much pain. So they didn't give me any pain medicine. I wanted to be alert and know what was going on. So I had the scan. Within an hour, I found out I had a tumor in my brain. And the first thing I said to Jerry is, what am I gonna tell them? You guys. Like, here I am, like, teaching you the diet for optimal health, and I have a tumor in my brain? How is this even possible? I'm so healthy, I feel good, I'm in pain, but I still have energy to do anything that I want to do. How could this be? So the emergency room nurse and the doctor, they were so awesome. They were just like, one bridge at a time, Julie. We cross one bridge at a time. And I said, Jerry, I haven't written up the hot dog recipe yet. I haven't written up the chicken cutlets. I need to make a video. And I had all of these things flooding my mind that I still had to do. And I was getting very upset. I cried for like 10 minutes, maybe, off and on. And then they called the neurosurgeon to come in and talk to me about doing a brain biopsy. And it was surreal. I couldn't believe this was happening, but it was, and it was what it was. And I know I have a strong immune system. Go ahead.
They're saying in the chat, Marcy is saying, I cried for way more than 10 minutes.
I know, I think my mom cried tears for me more than I was. Sometimes when you're going through it yourself, you have to like hold it together and really hear what they're saying, because it was so hard for me to get my mind around that I was soul-bird, like shocked. And there's Jerry, we're gonna be fine. I have no doubt. You eat a protective diet. Like, he was so positive about it. And I'm like, yeah, I feel like that too, but I still have possibility of cancer in my brain. I can't believe this. So they did the MRI, and that showed that what the shape of it and everything, and the neurosurgeon came in and said that he had a strong feeling of what kind of cancer it was. Go ahead.
There are many others in the chat room saying you cried all night long.
Oh my God.
What was going on.
Oh my God. Thank you for your support. I'm going to be fine. I'm going to be a great example of what we can do to prepare ourselves to go through something like this, just like I am.
That's exactly what I said to Julie as soon as we got the diagnosis, is you're going to be fine. You're going to be a great example of exactly what to do to get through this for all your people out there. Don't worry about right now. We'll take care of that one bridge at a time.
Right. And I'm not just talking about brain cancer. This could be anything in life. If we have this strong endothelium and strong immune system and daily practice, we're going to get through anything like a champ. So what happened then? So then the surgeon came in, talked to us about what he thought it was, and talked to us about possibilities of treatment, but we were going to do this biopsy the next day at 4 o'clock. So I went back, we were admitted then to our room, and Jerry, I think you headed out to go get something. Was that day?
I think so. They were all glued to Facebook, by the way. They all
I
wanted
know,
to
and you know what? I couldn't give you
an
an update until I called my mother and my brother, because they're in the support group, and I thought, what a horrible way for them to find out. And a lot of close people to me found out about this through the newsletter yesterday, and I felt so bad because I didn't realize people that were so close to me actually read my newsletters. But the word's getting out, and I think that the way that I put it with the pictures, people responded better to that post than me telling them, because then it might sound more dramatic, or they could read through it as quickly as possible to get to the points and to realize that I'm going to be okay. So I hadn't eaten anything all day because I went to the hospital. We left here, I want to say around 7 o'clock in the morning. We got there at maybe 8 a.m., the hospital.
It was like 10. We wanted to leave at 7.
We were putzing around. I wasn't feeling good. I wanted to take a shower and like clean up a little and put my laundry away, because I knew I wasn't coming back. Like, I knew something bad was wrong. I unfortunately didn't pack a little bag or anything. Jerry grabbed apple pie out of the refrigerator that he made. So he was good for a little meal. I think you had breakfast too. You were good for lunch. But they wouldn't let me eat or drink all day. So by the end of the day, when I found out that I could eat something, because my surgery wasn't going to be until 4 a.m., so I was able to eat from like 7 p.m. until 6 a.m., it was like game on. So the surgeon's like, we need to get her some healthy food up here. I'm like, hold on a minute. So that's when I called down, and if you could show him some of the meals that I truly enjoyed in the hospital. I just told him what I needed. I broke it down really simple. I told Jerry, all I need is clean, healthy food that's going to heal my body, that's going to give me the energy I need. So here you can see I had brown rice. They gave me steamed broccoli, steamed zucchini, which was a surprise. I didn't even ask for that. They got creative. Pineapple, strawberries, grapes, and a banana, and they had tea. Then Jerry went home and he got my tea. Suzanne had given me a tea box of all this organic tea. He grabbed that. He grabbed a popcorn popper, an electric tea kettle. They told him he couldn't have that in there after the head nurse saw him, but he went back home and popped like 13 gallons of popcorn. He put it in a garbage bag because he knew he was going to be stuck there. What's he going to do? And he wanted to get back quick. So we made it work together. Even Jerry stuck to plan, because here he is watching me with these beautiful blood tests. That was the one thing in the emergency room. They're like, I don't know what's going on. Your blood tests are so beautiful. Everything's perfect. Your liver function, your protein levels, everything's perfect. And I think that had a lot to do with the doctor giving me the freedom to order whatever I wanted from the hospital to eat. Now, a lot of times we go into the hospital and our numbers aren't so great yet. Maybe we just started on a protective diet, or maybe we're not 100% on board yet. And we're telling the doctor that we need a plant-based diet, yet we don't even practice one at home to show him as an example of what it's doing. And the doctor's insisting that you need to eat chicken or whatever they think is going to build you up and build you strong in the hospital. The doctor looked at my blood tests and looked at what I wanted to eat and said, give this girl whatever she wants and get her a baked potato now, because I was so hungry and thirsty, and he wanted to take advantage of that opportunity that I was willing to eat during this very kind of emotional roller coaster. So you went through all the different meals that I had?
No, just the first day.
Show the rest of the
Well,
plates.
first I want to show them what I brought.
Oh yeah, so Jerry went to Costco. I said, will you please go get, because I didn't know what they were going to provide, and he went before I even got a meal. And you can see he has, I said, go get organic blueberries, raspberries, strawberries, fresh ones, grapes. He popped all that popcorn. So he brought brown rice crisps, brown rice crisp cereal, and a box of cornflakes. Neither one I even touched. So, but that's a great thing to have in your cabinet, those cornflakes, because you could always grab those, and a box of soy milk. He also brought me soy milk for my tea, and I was set. So look at this meal. It was so amazing because it was so fresh and clean, and I didn't have to worry about a thing. Steamed broccoli, brown rice. It was the best brown rice I had ever eaten in my life, I swear, because I was starving, hungry, and it was so perfectly clean. I knew as I ate it, it was serving me, it was going to protect me, it was going to give me what I needed to get through this brain surgery. I had watermelon, and then this was the baked potato he sent up. They gave me steamed green beans, zucchini, broccoli, banana, apples, oranges that Jerry peeled for me, and there was cantaloupe. There was no lack of food. Was it simple? Yes. Was I starving and it was the most delicious thing I ever ate? Yes. So when you're hungry, these things are going to taste fantastic to you. And this was spinach. They gave me steamed spinach. That was a surprise. I didn't even ask for that one. They started to get creative when they started to realize what I wanted and my reaction to the simple, plain foods. I kept asking them to send messages back to tell them it was perfect. It was so fresh and so delicious with those words so that they remembered. They kept saying, are are you sure you don't want a sauce? Is she sure she doesn't want a sauce? They were asking my nurses, and they're like, no, 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 this is perfect. This is exactly what she wants. This hospital we were at, it's Sharp Memorial, and they're all about the Sharp experience, and they were worried that I was going to be disappointed. Oh, and then Amy sent me an edible arrangement. Yes. I'm looking forward, to be honest with you, I'm looking forward to go back, not so much to have this much larger area cut out of my head, but to just take some time off and eat some rice and broccoli. I couldn't have asked for better nurses. Show them these. Oh, so Amy sent me an edible arrangement. That was awesome. And we gave each of our nurses one of the flower pineapples. They thought that they were so special because we gave that to them. And I'm like, oh, come on.
Now, was the brown rice plain with nothing on it?
Nothing on it. Just steamed brown rice.
Okay.
Suzanne showed up with king sauce on my last day there. That would have been great on there. But I was so hungry and so just kind of... I was happy with just plain brown rice. It was honestly the greatest brown rice I ever ate because I was so hungry. Jerry even ate some of it, and I was like, get out of here. So,
nurses.
Popcorn. Jerry brought a couple bowls. There's my nurses. They were just incredible. And they brought these little containers in so that Jerry could make up some popcorn for them, spray it with the water, lay it with the salt. They loved the whole concept of the salt and the water and no fat. They were learning all about a plant-based diet, and I was learning from them. One of the nurses, she worked on a weight loss surgery floor, so she taught me all about gastric bypass surgery and details that you wouldn't normally read in medical journals. This was like what she dealt with day to day. So we were both learning from each other. Everyone there was fantastic. They were awesome. I'm very lucky that I ended up at that hospital that Jerry randomly picked that had a neurology floor with this surgeon that was so well known. People travel from out of the country to see him, and I just got him. So I got very lucky. No big surprise. I feel like this experience was lining up for a long time. For a long time I've been practicing a diet to promote my endothelium and to possibly keep this tumor from spreading and at bay. I got the health insurance. The past, I don't know, how long has it been now? Since Joanne has been in our community. I've been really focused on eating sulforaphane and cancer-fighting phytochemicals, getting them into our recipes. We've been having a lot of broccoli recipes, if you haven't noticed, and learning how to chop that broccoli before we cook it so we can produce the maximum protection. And I listen to my community, and whatever you guys are struggling with, that's what I focus my attention on. I focus my recipes to go along with that. I focus my classes to go along with that. I focus my chats to go along with that. Our support in our Protective Diet Living support group, we focus on what needs focusing on. Whoever's struggling, whatever the top subject is, that's where we go. And I was brought down this cancer prevention road, and here I'm testing all these recipes, eating all of this stuff, and preparing myself to where the day that I came back from the hospital, I didn't have to. I looked at Jerry and I said, look at my salad, it looks the same as the last salad I made here. Thank God I'm not backtracking and trying to figure out how to eat a preventative and anti-cancer diet today. I've been doing this for years, and I'm just going to keep moving forward because of my good health and my diagnosis.
Now this is what you looked like the night of the biopsy.
Oh yeah.
So
I have a bandage over the shaved area and area that they make the burr hole and do they close it up with staples. And I was doing great. I was eating popcorn and my edible arrangements. Thanks, Amy. And those, I have some areas on the back of my head and the front of my head and swollen areas. They have to pin your head really tight because they take an MRI right before you go in for surgery, and they line everything up with this drill that does it with a machine, lines up your tumor, and the surgeon says another centimeter till he hits the tumor and not the brain. So I have these areas that are kind of scabbed up and sore but I'm so happy to have them.
So they're asking what you're doing in the picture. You're just showing.
Oh, I was just
the
showing.
marks.
I was showing my mom what was going on, the different cuts. I wanted to show her I'm okay. They just held my head steady with these. Oh, it's actually on this side. I still have. It's got a little lump there, but nothing compared to them giving me a diagnosis of cancer spread all over my body, or something that I can't manage, or that I didn't have a neurosurgeon, on the floor that they put me on that was an expert at doing this. I'm so fortunate, and it's relatively painless, I have to say.
Well, here's the neurosurgeon's fingers holding back Julie's hair.
His experienced hands there. And there you can see the staples. That might turn a lot of people off, so maybe you want to take that down. But that's what's going on in there. And you can't even tell that I had this done. The next surgery is going to be a larger area, but if I pull up my hair, I reviewed my haircut before I went into surgery and asked him to leave a piece in the front so that I could just comb it over. And he's like, oh, of course. And he was laughing. He was asking Jerry where he found me, but I don't know if they can see this. They could see enough in the picture, but it's a nice little square patch, and I have staples in there that I get out in about, 10 days or so. I get to have them taken out, and then we'll know the scheduled date for the surgery to have the tumor removed. It'll be about a month and a half to 2 months, because this has to heal completely before I can have the second surgery. So I want to go over different tumors, just 2 different types, so that you can be a little clearer, because I saw when I posted on Facebook what was going on, a lot of you were confused about slow growing, fast growing cancers, the difference. So I want to go over benign tumors are non-cancerous, and I made a mistake and had a conversation with Sally, and I told her that all tumors or benign tumors are cancerous, but they're slow growing. Benign tumors are not cancerous. They can change. All cells can mutate.
Before we go on to the next thing, there's a question right now about, are they going to let it heal and then reopen it? And that's not what they're doing. They're letting it heal, but then they're going to open up a bigger chunk.
He said it's a square, like about this big, on the side of the skull that they remove, and then they go in there.
So they're not going to reopen the initial.
So I'll probably have a nice square of.
They're going to take out a chunk that includes the burr hole. So they need the burr hole area to be healed before they cut it out, a bigger piece of it out.
Good explanation. I'll be fine. So benign tumors are abnormal growth of cells. They're just an abnormal growth. Removal is sometimes necessary if they're pressing on other areas like blood vessels or causing you pain. What causes them is, from what science has shown, diet, environmental toxins, radiation, genetics, stress, local trauma or injury, inflammation or infection. Usually they put you, if you have a benign tumor, which I do not, they put you on a watch and wait program, or watchful waiting, sometimes they call it. These can be, they're just watching it to see if it affects you, or if it grows, or if it changes in its to a malignant tumor or not. They still can be very serious and life-threatening. A lot of times people will be like, oh, she has a benign cancer, and they celebrate. When you get a benign cancer diagnosis, that should be your wake-up call. If it didn't happen before, if you weren't in this classroom before you got that diagnosis, to start living for optimal health. So when you get a diagnosis like that, you're not like, oh, this is the end of my life. Or you get a diagnosis of a malignant tumor like I did, which is a faster growing cancer. It's life-threatening. Tumors are classified between 1 and 4. Now I have a 2. Mine's classified as a 2. The more aggressive the tumor is, the higher the grade is. So mine is a 2 on a scale of 1 to 4, to give you an idea of what's going on as far as the growth rate. And it's called a name that I'm going to spell if you're interested, because I cannot say it. Are you surprised? It's O-L-I-G-O-E, I'm sorry, OLIGODENDROGLIOMAS. And Jerry's posted links for this in our support group, and he's posting one right now if you want to read more about it. They come from the supportive tissue of the brain. So that's what it forms from. They can be low grade 2 or a high grade 3. Looks like a fried egg in the shape, and it's got like a center that looks like a little fried egg. Yes.
Are you planning on changing anything after this, like electronic consumption or wine consumption, electronic use or wine consumption?
My wine consumption has been really like minimal in general my whole life. I'm not a daily drinker, not even really a weekly drinker, but when Joanne was going through her second round of breast cancer, she got breast cancer again and was going through a time that she was really trying to attack the cancer. I had started a group of no alcohol consumption, promoting that because that's known for increased risk in breast cancer if you have a previous condition or it runs in your family. There's studies that go both ways on it, but it's not something that is a part of my life regularly or needs to be. I mean, I can easily eliminate that. But I don't really need to increase anything. I'm always researching and learning to bring you guys and myself and Jerry the best we can eat, the best that is reasonable to add to our diet, like the sprouting. I have my sprouts going. Jerry had the sprouts going while I was at the hospital. I think you rinsed them once? Twice. And they lived, and we ate them when I got home. Now, this has been something that I incorporated in. I didn't introduce it to the community until I saw it was reasonable and saw what items you needed to get it home and get it going, and the how inexpensive it was to introduce that boost of sulforaphane.
There you go. Sulforaphane.
It's a phytochemical that's known to just kill off cancer stem cells. So it's also in broccoli, and we go over it in the lesson that we just did on cruciferous vegetables. So check out that lesson, and that's going to go over how to boost that anti-cancer phytochemical on your plate, because there's certain ways we can kill it when we're cooking our broccoli or using frozen broccoli. So I go through all of that. If you haven't caught up on that lesson, check it out. Don't miss out on anything. These are all advantages that I bring to you in these classes, and I hope you're taking advantage of them. Go ahead.
Chuck asks, did you massively educate the entire hospital?
Yes. We had PD classes
Her name
all
is
day.
Julie Murray, of course.
Yes.
She did.
And it was pretty helpful that you guys sent a lot of note cards that Jerry still has to go back there tomorrow and pick up more. They're still printing them out. There were emailed note cards that the hospital has this e-card system, and they print out the cards, and they kept coming to my room and they're like, who is this girl? And I'm like, this is so great. The support that I received from you guys was phenomenal. And I know that when a new member joins our group, or when a member is struggling in our group, I'm there, I'm lining up to support them and encourage them, and I see all of you doing this. But to be the person on the receiving end was just overwhelmingly awesome. I couldn't even believe it. Like, there was always someone on there. If I went on there and made a post, there was people responding to what I said. I felt supported, I felt encouraged, and I felt powerful because I had all of you just cheering me on. So I know what it feels like to be in our community. It's a pretty amazing group. Go ahead, Jerry.
Do you need to chop the sprouts in order for them to increase the
sprouts
thing?
are raw. So if you're eating raw broccoli or raw sprouts, you're chewing them and you're creating the mix of the phytochemical and the enzyme to create that magical phytochemical. So watch that lesson. I go through it on that.
Well, do you need radiation or chemo?
No, and I'm going to go over this. So temporal lobe tumors, which is what I have, are usually silent, causing few symptoms such as change in personality, seizures, headaches, difficulty in short-term memory. A lot of the symptoms that I had on there were flags for that. Scientists have identified chromosomal abnormalities in some of these tumors. So it may play a role in the development of the tumor. The surgeon said to me, you got this because you were born. Most people are born with this chromosomal abnormality, they think, or the tumor, and it's very small and it takes a long time to grow, especially when you're eating the way we are. And we're going to go over that and why it was so slow.
Now, Julie, you just said most people are born this way. And I would say that most people that get this form of cancer.
Yes, not most people are born this way. It's an unusual cancer, but it's not something that I caused to happen. Possibly it was there. I may have brought it out with stress. I may have suppressed it with a protective diet for many years. We don't know, but I do know I have a really strong endothelium, strong immune system.
No, I can't wait till we get into that.
Okay. So treatment is typically they remove it, followed by radiation treatments. Grade 3, they are typically treated with a combination of radiation and chemo. So let's see here.
Tell them how big the tumor is if you haven't already.
It's about 1.5 inches by 2 inches. And I feel like...
And about 5 centimeters deep.
Oh, I didn't remember that part. Ooh, it's deep. It looks like it either grew in a hole in my brain or it made this hole. So when they showed me the MRI, I could see swelling around the tumor. That's inflammation. That's my body's healing response. And we cover that in the class about inflammation, and it's called acidic versus alkaline foods. And we cover that inflammatory response and why our body does that. Well, my body doing that, it was either trying to get that tumor out of there, heal it, draw attention to it, draw blood to it. So all of these things, my body was doing exactly what it should do to signal me and to heal and try and repair what was going on. So I don't have to have, well, he said that I should go through this surgery like a champ because I have this very strong immune system. My blood tests were perfection. A healthy life, healthy body. I more than likely won't need rehabilitation. Whenever they do any kind of brain surgery, there's the risk of brain damage. And hopefully I won't have any damage and I won't have to relearn to walk, talk, and be the person I am.
Now that's because the brain, the tumor is located on the outside surface of the brain, so they don't have to burrow through any gray matter, any brain tissue to get to the tumor itself. It's just right there waiting to be cut out.
Right. And normally when these tumors are removed, they try and take it as close as they can, but with the brain, they don't want to damage the brain cells. So that's a lot of times why they do the radiation or chemotherapy treatments. Now with the diet and lifestyle that I live, I think I can repress this from regrowing in a rapid way and causing me cancer spread. It's been contained in just in that one spot in my brain this long. I think I'm going to be okay. And at worst, I have to do an MRI every now and then and just make sure it's still the same and we go on. And if it did grow back, I would have this wonderful surgeon just, connect the lines again and take it out again if possible. But I will not have the
Did any of the nurses or doctor go PD? We have quite a few of
I
the
don't know,
nurses.
but we're going back. I can't wait to go back and see them. We had some of them join our support group and log on to the website, and so they're checking it out. They're definitely their eyes and ears are open to what we're doing. So hopefully that answers all your questions about me. But I want to get back to you because that's what this is all about. And we're all in this community. We're all learning from each other on a daily basis. I learn new things from you guys, and that's how I developed Protective Diet, was working one-on-one with people for many years before we had this group coaching program. And I put together with my practical studies on each of you that I worked with and anyone that would give it a try to see what worked. And the one thing that we do know is a protective diet is based on the endothelium. on the foundation of our immune system. And Jerry's going to pull up a diagram. And I want to review this because I know a lot of you get caught up in weight loss or dieting or your reasons for being here. And I really want to make sure that everyone that's within our community is here because they are here to promote their endothelium. They're here to achieve optimal health. And with the achievement of those two things, they go side by side. You can't have one without the other. You're going to reverse disease. You are going to reduce your risk of cancer spread. You're going to reduce your risk of common colds, viruses, flus. You're going to reduce your risk of pretty much anything that crosses that barrier wall of your endothelial cells. So is that chart up for us, Jerry?
Sure is.
I don't see it there. Okay, we're on delay. All right. So this is a diagram of your endothelium, and this is a diagram of cancer entering and spreading within your system in this diagram to show you with the relationship of cancer, because most of you are familiar, if you've been on a plant-based diet for a while or you've been in the plant-based community, you've heard of Dr. Esselstyn and his focus on endothelial promotion for heart disease. Your endothelium runs throughout all your blood vessels and your lymph vessels. It surrounds your organs. It's our largest organ in the body. It's our protective cells. This blocks things from entering our system. So this protects us from all disease and spread of cancer, all of these things. This is what we're talking about here. When we're making our Asian style kale and we're eating our brown rice and we're not eating at restaurants because they accidentally slip oil in there, or we're not running out and buying that new vegan ice cream because it's vegan and filled with sugar that breaks down your endothelium. We don't go off plan because these cells, they're on the top of my list for anything that I do in a day. I protect these cells, and thank God I did. I have brain cancer. Me, this person that's leading this group that's supposed to be the healthiest person in the world. But I had this going on in me for a long time, and it decided to show its face. So I want to go over this chart. So on the left here, you see there is a blue mass, and that's a cancer cell. I'm going to start there and work down. So underneath that mass is this little line, and they look like little rectangular shapes. Those are your single cell layer wall of your endothelium. And that's all it is, a single cell layer wall. So that we need to keep solid. And in that first diagram on the left, you can see it's not breaking through. It's a tight cell. It's healthy. It's not breaking through there. And it wants to break through and go into your blood and transfer throughout your body into your organs. But it's not getting through in that first diagram. The second blue mass is breaking right through, and that's due to endothelial retraction, or what we call endothelial breakdown, to make it easy for you to understand. And if you haven't watched the lesson in the fundamentals of protective diet in our archives titled The Endothelium, please do, because that's what we're doing here. If you don't understand the foundation and the science behind your baked mac and cheese, then I really don't understand how you could practice this full time. Because that's why I stick to it. That's what made it click for me, is this science. So it breaks through this wall, and then it can get into my system, and it can spread all over the place. This is the same thing for viruses, HIV, the flu, a cold. A very similar thing happens with plaque when you have a heart attack or you have a stroke. So we've got to make this endothelial wall, the single cell layer wall of these protective cells. Where do you think protective diet came from? We're eating a diet for protection for human health. We protect and strengthen our endothelium, foundation of our immune system. We're offering protection for animals and our environment. So when you're saying you're practicing a protective diet and you're telling me that you can only do this 90%, I am crushed. And you're not in this group to please me. But this is why I'm teaching this. I'm not teaching this to help you lose 10 pounds. I'm not teaching this to because this is a fun thing to do. Your friend was doing it and now you joined our group. No, I want you in this classroom because you understand the science and the foundation behind why we aren't eating these certain foods and why we are doing a 50-50 plate as we progress. I'm not asking you to eat more kale so you get skinnier. I'm asking you to eat more kale so you promote this endothelial protection. The nitric oxide production happens when we chew our greens. That's why I don't want you blending them in a smoothie. There's so much behind this, but if you just follow the recipes as they're designed, it naturally happens. But I absolutely, without a doubt, want to know that everyone that's in this classroom, everyone that's active in our support group, is following along with a protective diet to promote their endothelium and understands how it works. Because if you don't understand it, driving in the car with your family and they're eating curly fries, those might seem appealing to you. But if you understand the endothelium and what that one curly fry is going to do to that single cellular wall, to break it down, to allow things to enter your system, you're not going to eat that curly fry. You're going to grab that curly fry and tell your kids, we cannot eat this anymore. You're breaking down the foundation of your immune system. And I can't stand beside you and watch you do this. And you're going to voice your opinion. It's not about mommy's diet or daddy's diet or what that scale says. It's about your life. It's about when you're at a crossroads and you get a diagnosis at an emergency room when you have a sinus infection, that you have a tumor in your brain. It's about the difference between them saying, your blood tests are unbelievable. What are you doing? You're going to get through this like a champ. Isn't that what you want to hear from your surgeon, from your doctor? Or never even have to go into that office ever again because you feel so fantastic? Or you go into the office just to get your blood test so you can have a little contest with your friends in protective diet living, how awesome your blood test results are? That's the community I want. I don't want a community of people feeling like they're not supported because they're not 100%. And I'm bringing this up because there were some posts while I was in the hospital. I was very aware of them because this is very important to me. This is my life. This is what I do. I lead you guys to optimal health. That's my goal. And when you join me, I feel very responsible getting you there. I hear that you want to get there. You're here, you're in this classroom, you signed up, you want my services, so I want to provide them to you. And when I hear you're not feeling supported, I want to get to the bottom of it. And there were some posts this last week that people were feeling unsupported. And the people I saw commenting on them are not active in my classroom. I bet they haven't even watched the endothelial lesson. They don't even know what I'm talking about today. And maybe today's their day of awakening and they're gonna say, I'm gonna do this. Oh my gosh, I didn't even know what this was about. And I'm excited now. Or maybe they're feeling offended again because I'm bringing this up. But I'm bringing this up because I want you to reach your goals. I want you to reach optimal health. When someone in our support group says they fell off plan, they went off plan, they'll never be 100%, they just can't do it. They are not going to get support in doing that. We're a support group. Protective Diet Living is a support group for the exclusive practice of 100% on a protective diet. So if you come in there and you say, I can't, or you come in there and you say,
I won't ever.
I won't, I just won't, I can only do 90%, don't expect people to make you feel comfortable because they're there in that group encouraging you to do the 100% because the majority of the people in our support group that are active are 100% and they're reaping those benefits. They're like me when they go to the doctor. They are not struggling. They don't have the food cravings. And I want you to get to that point. I don't make this hard and 100% and these rules on this program to make it harder on you, I should say. I do this to make it easier because once you get over that hump, you don't have those cravings. But if you're not willing to learn the material and follow along and practice, then I can't help you. I feel like this isn't the right program for you. There's so many programs out there that teach a healthier way of eating and you could go try those out. We're talking about eating and living for optimal health in this community. We're not talking about getting a little healthier. We're talking about disease reversal. We're talking about flying through an experience of brain cancer, which you're gonna watch me do. And I'm gonna share every detail of it with you to show you, to give you an example of what you can have if you're ever faced with something like this. Or look at my high energy. I can't even believe that I had a hole drilled in my head on Thursday. It's just hard to believe, but I'm feeding my body the right thing. I'm living for something. I have purpose, and my purpose is to help you. So if you're struggling, I want you to share with me in the classroom, Saturday morning chat, in our protected diet living, but I want you sharing, realizing you are going to get resolutions for your challenge. You're not going to get a pat on the back and a hug and say, it's okay to fail, because we want you to succeed. There's plenty of groups out there like that. You can join them and stay in the state of illness or in the place you're in now without progressing to your goal. I want you to get to your goal. And I started this group with a very few handful of people that were very motivated, and more motivated people joined us, and more successful people came from that, and their assistance, and they're encouraging them. They're encouraging you. They are not putting you down or shaming you for failing. That's your choice to go off plan. And I think a lot of it comes down to not understanding the endothelium, not understanding what we're doing with a protective diet. I see a lot of posts on the group, and I wanted to bring this up about what other doctors say or other coaches say. And I have to tell you, this is a protective diet. There's many different ways to go about things, but a lot of those doctors and those coaches, they're not leading a group to reverse disease. They're trying to get people to eat healthier. They're not leading a group and trying all kinds of different things to get blood sugars to regulate and diabetes to reverse. They're doing what's suggested in studies. I've done this with so many different people and seen the practical results that I know how to lead you down the fastest path there. But if you're not interested in really achieving your goals and wrapping this up so that you are experiencing optimal health, I don't think this is the right community, because you're not going to get the support to fail. You're only going to get the support and resolutions to continue moving forward. They're not going to say, oh, take a break from this diet, go eat whatever you want for the next week and regroup on Monday. No, they're going to tell you, I went through this. I know exactly how you feel, but it wasn't until I committed 100%, cleared out my pantry, stocked it up, loaded it up, and set myself up for success, and joined in on the chats, watched the foundational classes, and joined the live classes whenever I could to have this regroup and that feel the excitement and see the energy that I could do this full time. We made this group coaching program in this format to produce success, and I want you to have it. And I hope the people that were challenged and struggling this past week in our group understand that I want you to succeed, and I care about all of you. And you're active in the group. I am aware of you. You're under my radar. I don't want anyone slipping through the cracks. I say this all the time, but the excuses, they gotta go. If you're not gonna go for this 100% and go for the gold, don't complain in our support group. Complain in our support group, reach out for support when you want people to give you resolutions and tell you what to do, because that's what they're there for. They're not there to console you and tell you it's okay to fail.
I'm with Julie 100% on this. I'm tired of dancing around this issue. I would much rather tell people that and cry for them now while they're alive and can make changes, and cry for them at their funeral, because it's like slow suicide to eat a standard American diet.
Right, and when we're
it's destructive when you're conscious and you know when you're enlightened and you know that you're hurting yourself and you continue on the same path. We don't judge at all. You can do whatever you want. Man, it hurts because I feel nothing but love for you. I feel so passionate about that and want to see the best for you, and then to see you hurt yourself by going off plan, no matter
or struggle. I don't want to see any of you struggling, and that's why we've mapped it out this way. But the posts, the conflicting posts and saying, well, this doctor says this is okay, or this is what I'm gonna do. It's very challenging to the people that have mastered this and have practiced this fully to receive that, or for you to post and be negative about our practices, because this is a support group for a specific practice. And I'm hoping that if you are on the fence about jumping in full force, you do it. And when you get over that hump and you start producing the results, you will see why I mapped it out the way I did, to make it easier in the long run, to make it easier to make a lifelong practice. When you get over the hump and you've been practicing 6 months, sometimes people get a little overconfident and they start slipping in the oils, or they start eating vegan products because they're vegan now. And then we start to see the damage. It's in here, absolutely for sure, after one off-plan meal. One off-plan meal, that's all it takes for this to break down. Not even a full meal. Samples at Costco count. They break down your endothelium. So cut them out. Stay focused. Live for your best. You get this one chance. I get this one chance, and I'm gonna experience this brain cancer, and I'm gonna learn so much from it. I'm very excited to go back for my appointment, and who can say that? It's because I'm strong and I healed up well, and I have the confidence in my daily practice. I'm so confident in a protective diet after this experience, and seeing my blood test and seeing the doctor's response to my diagnosis and sharing with me what their thoughts were on the outcome of this. I'm good. I'm golden.
To summarize this awesome graphic that we shared with you, that when you have a strong endothelium, let's say cancer happens, like in Julie's case, it happens, okay. When you have a strong endothelium, the cancer cannot get into the bloodstream. And then with it not being able to get into the bloodstream, it doesn't go throughout the rest of your body. It just
stays there, like the egg in my head.
Exactly. So it doesn't matter where the cancer or the flu or the cold or what you're going through, it's not going to spread and develop and grow. It's going to stay either centralized where the body can get rid of it, or it's just going to hang out like in Julie's brain. It's just staying in one place instead of being all through scattered little cancerous lesions all over her brain. No, it's just one place.
One spot.
It's easy.
They held it steady, strong endothelium. I hope that I'm encouraging you. I hope you don't take me as me yelling at you, because sometimes I can be kind of bossy, but it's because I'm so passionate about what I'm teaching. You see, I live this life. Jerry lives this life. He had no health conditions. I had a lot of them in my 20s that I had to get through and into
They're
my
saying,
30s.
Julie, you are awesome. You're making them cry. They're all crying again.
I just want you to put this number one in your life, because if you have something happen to you and you didn't catch up with your health and really go full force and reverse the disease, or say you did and then you put it aside, you put it as a secondary thing and you thought, well, I reached my ideal body weight, I can eat some of these things now. Your endothelium is still suffering. You still have that possibility of that diagnosis. You still have that possibility of sudden death from a heart attack or a stroke. Let's eliminate this risk, especially if you've had other, cardiac problems in the past. You've had heart disease in the past. Now you've reversed it. You're off your medicine. Don't go back to slipping bad things in there. You're going to lose that high energy. You're going to break down that endothelium and put yourself at risk for sudden death. I lost my best friend at 40 years old to a heart attack in the middle of the night, and that lit that fire under me. And I don't want to see anyone in our community going short on their life because they didn't apply this, because they didn't hear me, because I didn't drive it home clear enough that this is not about the scale. The scale goes right along with optimal health. You cannot be carrying around excess body fat if you are in optimal health. So eat for optimal health. Plate up those plates properly. Don't get extreme. Eat anything that's on the website. All those recipes are designed for you to achieve optimal health. There's not one that you shouldn't eat often. Go ahead and eat it. Stay on plan. That's way more important than you eating just kale and rice and then falling off plan and getting French fries because you did this extreme programming. We make the recipes look delicious and taste delicious because I want you and all your friends and family to be able to sit down for a protective diet meal together.
That's right.
It's very important that this is a diet and lifestyle that's enjoyable, that's delicious, that's satisfying.
Food is the most social activity that the human race undertakes. So it's got your daily diet has got to be a social event. That means more than one person. So there you go. Protected diet.
And it's fun.
It's good for everybody.
It's fun. Get cooking. And look at those nurses, those wonderful young nurses with no health problems, eating my PD popcorn that Jerry popped up for us out of a garbage bag. That was hysterical. At least it was a clean one. But with just salt and water. And we opened their eyes up to it. And it was delicious. Who hasn't tried that? It's fantastic. And if you can eat endless supplies of popcorn to trade in for that microwave bag and strengthen this powerhouse, your immune system, your endothelial cells, and eliminate any endothelial retraction or breakdown, you're golden. You've achieved optimal health. You've achieved your ideal body weight. It just happens naturally. Follow the plan. Go to the Guide to Optimal Health and start with those lessons and work your way through it if you're just getting started. The Guide to Optimal Health is located on the main tabs on the website. You'll find it there.
All right.
So welcome if it's your first night in class. I know this is kind of a serious class. We have a lot of fun cooking classes and a lot of others covering different subjects from science to application. Watch those pantry stocking lessons 32, 33, and 34. Set yourself up. That way when the new recipe comes out, you won't need to go searching for the ingredient that you need. You'll have it ready to go. Like today's recipe was American potato salad inspired by the South, and it has celery seed in it. Well, if you've been following a protective diet for a while, or you've been following the free recipes for a while, you probably have those celery seeds in your cabinet because you made the pickles. So we reuse the same spices over and over so that you're not always running out for a new thing. I keep it realistic and simple, but fun and exciting and delicious. So thanks for tuning in, everyone, and I'm okay. I'm doing great. I'm doing better, actually, than I was last week because I have this confirmed.
And the headache isn't in your head like it was last week.
Yeah, I'm not hearing any voices, and I'm not hearing a repeat song, even though it's a beautiful song sung by a beautiful woman. I'm on my way. I have a plan, and I also have the reassurance of my strong endothelium due to my daily practice of a protective diet. I never deviate from it. It's the best thing I got going for me.
That's right.
So take care, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. Do
Bye,
your best.
everyone.
Do your best. That's all you can do. And we're here to support you.